At the edge of a small town, where the houses slowly gave way to open fields, there lived a bird named Ellen. She was not a large bird, and she was not colorful in any way that made people stop and point. Her feathers were soft shades of brown and gray, the colors of earth and clouds before rain. Because of this, Ellen was often overlooked. But Ellen noticed everything. Each morning, she woke before the sun. She felt the cool air resting gently on her feathers and listened to the quiet sounds of the world preparing itself for the day. Far away, a dog might bark once. Somewhere close, leaves whispered as they moved in the breeze. Ellen liked this time best, when the world felt honest and unhurried. Ellen lived in a tall tree that had watched many seasons pass. Its branches were strong but kind, bending just enough to protect her from harsh winds. From her place near the top, Ellen could see far across the fields. She saw people walking, cars passing, and other birds flying with confidence and speed. Ellen could fly, of course. She had learned like all birds do. But she flew carefully, never too high and never too far. The open sky made her uneasy. It felt too wide, too full of unknown paths. So she stayed close to familiar places, returning again and again to the same branches, the same views, the same gentle routines. One morning, as the sun began to paint the sky with pale gold, Ellen noticed a bird she had never seen before. This bird flew higher than any Ellen had watched. Its wings moved with ease, and it seemed to trust the air completely. It circled once, twice, and then rested briefly on a nearby wire. Ellen studied the bird in silence. "You fly very high," Ellen finally said. The bird turned its head and looked at her. "I do," it repeated calmly. "Isn't it frightening?" Ellen asked. "Being so far from the ground?" The bird made a soft sound that might have been a laugh. "At first, yes, but the sky becomes familiar if you spend enough time with it." With that, the bird lifted off again and disappeared into the brightening morning. Ellen could not stop thinking about those words. The sky becomes familiar. The day passed as usual. Ellen flew short distances, found food, rested, and watched the world move below her. But something inside her felt different, like a small door had opened and refused to close. That evening, as the light faded and the air cooled, Ellen stood on her branch and looked upward. The sky was no longer bright and endless. It was deep and calm, filled with slow-moving clouds and the first quiet stars. She spread her wings, then folded them again. "Not today," she whispered to herself. Days passed. The strange bird did not return. But its words stayed with Ellen. She began to fly a little higher each day. Not much, just enough to feel the air change. Just enough to notice how the world below became smaller and quieter. She learned new things as she did this. She learned that the wind had different voices depending on how high you listened. She learned that fear did not disappear all at once, but thinned slowly like mist in the morning light. One afternoon, dark clouds gathered quickly. The wind grew sharp, and rain began to fall without warning. Ellen flew toward her tree, but a strong gust pushed her off course. For the first time, she was forced higher than she had ever planned to go. Her heart raced. The ground seemed far away, and the rain blurred everything she knew. But then, something unexpected happened. Up there, above the rushing wind near the ground, the air was steadier. The rain softened. Ellen realized that by flying higher, she had found calm instead of chaos. She adjusted her wings and let the air carry her. When the storm passed, Ellen found herself gliding smoothly. Her fear replaced by a quiet focus. She felt present in a way she had never felt before. The sky was no longer an empty space. It was a place with layers, moods, and kindness she had never discovered from below. When she returned to her tree, everything looked the same. But she was not. From that day on, Ellen flew higher. Not always, and not without care, but with trust. She explored the sky the way she once studied the fields. She learned when to rise and when to return. She learned that courage did not mean leaving everything behind, but allowing yourself to grow beyond what once felt safe. Sometimes, as she rested in the early morning light, Ellen thought she saw a familiar bird flying far above. And though they never spoke again, she felt grateful. Because the sky, once so distant and frightening, had become a place she understood. And Ellen, the small, quiet bird, had learned that even the widest spaces can feel like home when you give yourself time to know them.